What's up, guys? Versus Z with a video review, our first of 3 video reviews of Dark of the Moon Voyager class Ironhide. I'm going to start reviewing Dark of the Moon figures this entire week, and I'm going to upload each video in threes. I'll do a couple in some series. I also have different series figures ranging from the Allegiance class all the way up to Voyager class is the biggest I have. I have no leader classes from Dark of the Moon as of recording of this video. But anyway, let's just take a look at Dark of the Moon Voyager class Ironhide real quick. So here's his alt mode. It's got some darker gray tires. Darker gray tires. He has a kind of a smaller undercarriage. Not too much kibble going on there, so I like that. You have, if you're looking for paint apps issues, the figure does come packaged in robot mode, and since this basically becomes his chest, this is all you're going to see. But you want to look out for the silver trim along the grill, and make sure that the red here, which is painted over clear blue plastic, as you can see, you got to make sure that's clear, and make sure that the GMC highlighting with the red paint is pretty smooth as well. Mine kind of has some blotching here and a little bit of there. You can kind of see that, and some other parts of the figure that you probably won't see initially are here on the sides. Make sure that's cool, and back here where the Autobot symbol is just, normally it shouldn't be painted. I don't know why Hasbro decided to paint it now, but it's sloppily done on this side, as you can see. So yeah, so basically keep an eye out for the front, because that's the only thing that shows. But anyway, here's the alt mode. He's actually really small compared to the rest of the Voyager class Ironhides from the past. Significantly smaller, especially because this new Dark of the Moon scaling is a lot smaller. So here's a size comparison with Deluxe Ratchet. I think the scaling is kind of okay with these two, because this is a smaller, kind of a smaller SUV. It is a smaller version of the Hummer. I think it's the Hummer H3. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't know if you guys have ever seen this thing in person, but this thing is freaking huge. Like I have, and it was by chance. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was by chance that I saw this, and this thing is huge. It's just amazingly huge for a pickup truck like this. And yeah, that's why I think the scaling here kind of fits. Maybe if this guy was a little bit bigger, just a little bit, then it would be fitting. Anyway, he does have 3 MechTech ports, 1 on each side of the doors, so 2 here and 1 on top there. His cab is a little bit distracting, because it's not like a solid cab, or it's not like there's nothing covering it. It's just weird kibble. But yeah, the number one thing I like about the vehicle mode is just that there's not too much going on underneath the truck like previous Voyager class Ironhides. So you do have some, aside from MechTech ports, you do have some clip points here, like on the smokestacks. And you can even utilize these little, I guess, posts or stands, or just, I guess, trim. So you can take like weapons from a Human Alliance figure or any other weapon that has the 3mm clip system. These come from Human Alliance basic backfire, I think it is. So you can clip it on there if you want. Kind of arm up the side. So if you have like a Human Alliance basic, like a figure or someone, you can probably post them up on here. Or like I said, you can just remove them and just post them on the sides here. They don't really fit straight, but it's definitely better than so you can kind of get that illusion or that effect. So yeah, and then you got the MechTech weapon here, which is pretty cool. It's probably one of the better MechTech weapons in my opinion. So yeah, basically it's a rocket booster according to the box, and you can peg it up here or off to the side, but I like it up here. You just push that thing, and that activates the MechTech weapons gimmick. Then you can also rotate this. Since this is a Voyager class MechTech weapon, it can lock into place. Mine has problems because I've been messing around with it too much, but there you go. Got it locked into place. But the smallest... oh, never mind. Yeah, it's really detailed. You got some piping here, a little bit of gears, some mechanical detail. So there you go, that's cool. And you got an extra MechTech port up there too for like extra customization. So yeah, there you go. Let's transform this guy. Transforming him is actually pretty easy for a Voyager class figure. Well, compared to Revenge of the Fallen, where most of them were just a mess. Let's just remove that. Start by popping off the doors, or you could start by popping off the doors. That would untap the legs, or what becomes the legs. Pop off the doors, or just untab them from the cab. Let's move the camera down a little bit. So yeah, pop open the doors, set them off to the side, and then work on the legs. What you want to do, or if you want to, you can untab that too to kind of free some space. What you want to do with the legs is bring this assembly down just to free up space again. Fold the legs out by the knees, because what they're going to do is basically the body's upside down, so it needs to end up like this. The legs need to be rotated and flipped down that way. So you want to just fold them out, rotate them at the hinge, so then that way you have the little bit with the black and gold. Then fold that down. There we go. So yeah, there's the legs. His legs, because of the design, his legs look a lot slimmer. He does give off this more sporty, athletic physique to the design, but you can kind of change that. I'll show you how to alter that a little bit so that it looks a little bit more CGI accurate. It's okay with me. I don't mind the more athletic look to him, but I'll show you how to do the more screen accurate thing anyway. So what you want to do with the feet, take these things, flip them up, and they become kind of the under part of the feet, kind of like leader class Optimus Prime. Fold the feet out just a little bit and down, and then what these things are going to do is you're going to flip them up. This will wrap around. The tire's going to end up back behind his leg. There's a hole here and a peg there, and you're just going to want to connect that. There we go. Do the same here, and there you go. And for review's sake, I'm going to keep him displayed in his little like new look, I suppose. So now continue on with the upper body. Well, his legs aren't flush with the body yet. Okay, something like that for now, just for now. And lift the camera up. Bring this piece, which becomes his abdomen, bring it down. Now what you want to do, this part gets a little tricky. You want to take these arms, take the front bumper. I guess we could put the camera down. Take the front bumper, untab that from there. Then you're going to basically untab the chest too. You're going to take these arms out, which are on this swing here. So just kind of bring them out for now. If this would unpeg, there you go. Untab. And then what you want to do is, adjust this so that it's out of the way. Make it conform with the arm. Adjust that, flip it by the ball joint on the forearm, not here on the bicep yet, but by the forearm. And then rotate at the black piece where the bicep is. Do the same here. Now there's not a lot of molded detail on this figure in alt mode, but there definitely is a lot of molded and mechanical, looking details on him in robot mode, especially when you transform him. So rotate again, basically. And the biggest example really comes on these tire pieces, or these wheel pieces at the axles, and you guys will see that in a second. And then what you want to do is rotate the wheels, and then you see what I'm talking about right there with the molded detail, kind of just like gears and stuff. You got the springs, the suspension system, all that. So that's pretty cool. So do the same here. Now, I guess what you want to do is, well, since that's out and down, the chest, or I guess the front here, is you're basically just gonna push it in and it'll collapse. Well, we should probably do this first. This back piece, you want to fold it down. Just have it fold down. So now you push this in and it'll collapse and turn into the chest. Now the arms are out, so that should be all good and gravy, I guess. There you go. And now there's a little trick to this, and it might not work because I'm doing a review and I'm trying to speed things up. But there's this tab here and a little groove. Black on black is not really a good idea, but where are you? Right in there. This tab is supposed to fit into there, and you're supposed to hear like it's click to make sure that everything fits in. And there's also a groove there and a tab there, so that should fit in as well. So let's see how this works. Hopefully it works. It's so far not working. Okay. Alright, cool. Now bring that down. Head, legs straighten. Camera up. Now basically it's just all about getting these things situated. So fold, if they haven't already folded themselves in, fold these in. There it goes, it untabs. Fold that in, you're going to hear like a small click or feel a small click, and then fold these in as well. You can leave them out because it comes packaged that way. It kind of look like wings, I guess, if you wanted to give him wings. But just for the sake of the review and for default stuff, it's going to look like this. So you can see he does look a lot slimmer, especially with the legs. He just looks a lot more athletic than he normally does. He still has a little bit of bulkiness to him. He just doesn't look as accurate as he does on screen. But you can fix that if you want to. He will look shorter because you're basically adjusting the legs. But if you want to have him displayed like this, you just basically chicken leg him using the double joints on the knees. Just get him to look like hecka weird. And there you go. I mean, yeah, he does look more squat, but you get that lower half bulkiness that he's supposed to have in robot mode. But again, yeah, there you have it. Supposed to have a deluxe class figure for size comparison. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. Alright, so here he is with deluxe class Nitro Bumblebee. So, you know, he's still taller, but if he had his legs straight up, of course he'd be a lot taller, and I think the scaling would be a lot better, a little bit more accurate. So yeah, there you have it. His articulation, well, before we talk about articulation, he does have, like I said, he does have lots of mechanical and molded detail. Like these panels here are definitely robot panels. You can highlight those if you want. There's this little detail here that should be like car parts, I suppose, but again, you could be able to highlight those all over his forearms. Lots of different things you could highlight. The chest, you know, especially here, like I pointed out earlier. But yeah, there you go. 3 MagTech ports, the same 3 ones from earlier. 1, 2, 3. You can store weapons in his back if you wanted to, just like how we kind of did in Dark of the Moon. Kind of a glimpse. We kind of saw a glimpse of that when they were at the Nest base, I guess, Nest headquarters. 2 on his forearms, or 1 on each forearm, and then he has these pegs here, so that you can add on different MechTech weapons with a port on them. Like this one, for example, you can use the peg here and attach it onto the forearm, or you can use the port that's on the weapon and attach it onto his wrist. But I find it works a lot better this way. So let's just peg it in there, and there you go. There you have Ironhide. Now, this does add a lot of weight to the arm. If you have it at certain points, it'll fall. But there are other friction points of the arm where it will hold up. Now I can go ahead and talk about articulation, I guess. His head is on a very loose ball joint. I don't know if it's just mine, or maybe it's like a defect with my figure, or maybe that's how they all are. I'm not sure, but that's that. The arms are probably the weirdest system of joints ever on a Transformer that I've ever owned. But you have a swivel up here, all up in there. You have a swivel at the bicep, and it's kind of tight. You have a hinge here at the elbow, as well as a separate ball joint. So you have kind of a ball hinge double system. You can't really get his arm to look too natural because of how the joints look, but you can still achieve a particular pose that you're looking for. It's just going to take some time to do because of the weird joints. All the joints are there. They're just associated differently. And his wrists are on ball joints. No way swivel. Ratcheting leg joints, they can kick out forward about that far, kick backwards just as far, kick out of the body like right there. Double jointed knee bend because of transformation. And I like his ankles. They have a hinge here and a ball joint at the base, so you can actually get this guy in some really serious poses if you so choose to. Like, if you really tried, you can get him into some really like dramatic, very serious battle ready poses. And I'm not going to waste too much time doing it, but you can if you wanted to. So yeah, that's it for this figure. I definitely recommend it, especially if you don't have a Voyager Ironhide figure, like me, like myself. But if you do have all the others, or at least one other Voyager Ironhide figure, this one might be a little bit disappointing to you because he is smaller, and now he's not in. There you go. He is smaller. He doesn't come with both weapons like all the other ones. He only comes with one huge MechTech weapon, so he's kind of armed in one hand and unarmed on the other one. So it's kind of weird, and the weird joint system here in the arms might put you off. But if you're okay with that, the pros of this figure, he's really posable. He really is. And for a line that's notorious for having figures with lacking paint apps, I think this guy's okay. Like, his forearms aren't all that painted, obviously, but you do have this black part here that kind of separates the coloring. His legs are perfectly fine. If it wasn't for how these parts transform, I don't think the colors would have separated all that well, because the leg is entirely molded in this kind of grayish bluish plastic. But I think the colors are divided throughout him pretty good enough. So yeah, he's super posable. He's a really great figure. He's actually pretty fun. If you can get past the weird joint system for the arms, then I think you'll enjoy this figure as much as I do. And I'll have to say that I really do enjoy this figure. I think the only con about him is that the fact that he is smaller. He's probably the smallest Voyager class movie Ironhide out there. But the pros weigh out the cons so much more. So yeah, I really do enjoy this figure. There you go. And on to the next review.